yes, I'm not stable right now. I'm upset, but really, you were fucking high, and you couldn't get your fucking stuff together, and you trying to take care of your kids and still be high. It's not working. So he called CPS.
What's your perspective? Welcome to Perspectives Unfiltered. I am your host, LaShante, and if you are new here, welcome to the family. Come in, take a seat, and get ready to get unfiltered with us. To my Perspectives Unfiltered circle, thank y'all so much for coming back and tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube. Y'all, today I have a guest who I feel like story needs to be heard, and I am going to let her take the time now to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Vejah. I'm a mom of 4. And I'm currently in recovery.
Okay. All right. God is good. I love that.
Amen.
All right. All right, baby. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. When you think back to the version of yourself before addiction, what was she chasing, running from, or trying to survive?
I think the main thing, which is going to sound crazy, that I was chasing before addiction still wasn't good. Niggas, money. I was still going out every weekend, partying. I really had no goals, no where I wanted to be, no career. Still haven't really got myself together.
Okay.
You know? Running from probably being grounded, running from home. Okay. I love my kids to death, but I really didn't want to be stuck at home all the time, you know. Even if I could go out for brunch or go out for Thursday, you know, I wanted to do something all the time.
That makes sense. So let's go back to the very beginning. How were you introduced to drugs, and what do you feel like it offered you that nothing else could?
So I feel like that I've always been around drugs, or I have taken or done something. I think that I was in a vulnerable space when I was introduced to fentanyl. Just with a guy, not saying that he pushed it on me or forced me to do anything, but he introduced me to it, you know, and it was there, and I felt like I wanted to try it because he was doing it, and, you know, I wanted to be with him every day and, you know, do what he was doing so we could be, you know, compatible and do the same thing. But once I did it one time, it was over with.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's something that anybody would love, you know what I'm saying? Doctors try it and they get stuck, and nurses and all these people, so it's just like anybody would love fentanyl, you know what I'm saying? So I felt like it was over with then. I fell in love with something else.
Okay. So do you feel like it was manageable at first, or you felt like you just immediately started spiraling?
No, it was definitely manageable. At first, you know, my family didn't even know. You know, I started from taking 1 pill over 3 days to doing 20 pills a day.
Jesus.
So that's like how it gradually, you know, went up. So no, it was manageable. I still had my house. I was still taking care of my kids, putting them on the bus, getting them off the bus, you know, doing all activities that I was doing. It didn't go downhill until I felt like I got into a car accident. Okay. And I got a CPS case. And I realized I couldn't even get clean to keep my kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's okay. It's your story. So what do you feel like addiction took from you that still hurts to think about today?
My kids. I feel like that it broke up, like the home, like, you know, whether their dad has been in our home or not, we've always had our own thing, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like addiction took that away. You know, they had to go to my mom's, they didn't know why they were there, you know, why I wasn't coming around. And I had no feelings off it. No, it puts that barrier between your emotions, and I really didn't care. You know, I love my kids, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like when I got addicted, I really didn't. I wanted to be there because I wanted to be a mom. But my feelings, when she took them, it was like, fuck it, she got them, fuck it. You know? Like, the best thing I do right now is not have any more. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's the best thing I can do. Right. So, and I was so addicted to fentanyl, I even remember telling myself, like, I'll never be happy again if I get clean. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, if I get clean, I'm never going to be happy again. Like, why would I want to do that? Like, that's how much it puts a toll on you. It changes your brain chemicals and everything.
Jesus. Wow. So were there relationships or pieces of yourself that you felt like you lost in the midst of that?
Like, I feel like I lost my feelings and my emotions. I got suicidal if I didn't have. And it was like, I'm not going to say that the guy I was talking to was controlling me, but once he saw that I got addicted, because it wasn't supposed to be like that. It was supposed to be a fun thing. So once he saw I got addicted, he snatched it from me, and I went to other people to get it. You know what I'm saying? So if I didn't have, I would lose everything. My patience, I would be irritable with my kids. I would be suicidal. I don't want to be here no more. Like stuff like that. I feel like I lost myself completely. You know, I lost my house. I wrecked my car. I lost my kids. I dropped out of hair school. Like I hit rock bottom. You know, I got locked up then, and you know, I only had to do 10 days, but just withdrawing from not having those pills for those 10 days, that shit broke me. And I thought that, you know, when I came home, that I would be able to just stay clean because it only been 10 days. Bro, I went right back to it. It only took me an hour. Really? Yeah, it's bad. You know.
So walk me through. Okay, so this is me, and I'm gonna be honest. This is Perspectives Unfiltered. I'm gonna be unfiltered with you. When I heard you were on drugs, the first thing that comes to my mind, me as a mom, and I said this to anybody that I have talked with this about you. Why aren't your kids enough? What is it about this drug that is? So walk me through, if you can. What addiction feels like? What draws you to it?
I feel like
bring your microphone closer to you.
I feel like that's where, like, people be mistaken. Like, they think like she has kids, she got her son, she got her mom, or you know, they got all this stuff. Why the fuck did she turn to drugs? But it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? It don't care about who it chooses. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And I always have been strong enough to be like, I don't want that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it was the person that I fell in love with. And I'm not trying to say that he's a bad person. Right. You know, we got a child together now, so I'm not trying to say that at all. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a good person today. You know, he's in his recovery too. I just feel like that just what I wanted to surround myself with. You know how you want to go to the club. You're going to surround yourself around bitches who want to go to the club with you. Right. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And I wanted to be around him, so I kind of wanted to do the things he wanted to do. He was doing those things. I found out he was getting high. I'm like, shoot, let me try. You know what I'm saying? And my kids were enough. Legacy was there. I can talk about this today. You know what I'm saying? Because I done the case. I got over this shit. But Legacy was there with me while I was getting high. You know what I'm saying? So my kids were still enough for me. Right. It was just this thing. I feel like at first, like you said, it was manageable. It wasn't taking over my life. I was still in my kids' life. And then once it started, I created the CPS case. I had just bought a BMW, and I was high off of Xanax and fentanyl. And my kids' dad asked me to come get the kids, and you know, I was always asleep. You know what I'm saying? And I was sleepy, but me wanting to be a mom and still be there. You got up anyway. I got up anyways, and I did. And I was hot as shit, Lashante, and I flipped the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to get all my kids out of there upside down. Unbuckle Legacy out the car and sleep upside down. And, of course, once I break the car, I don't lie no more. You know, I was so rich shit. You know what I'm saying? We got to the hospital, and he told me that that was irritable. Like I couldn't control my emotions. Like, you know, it was too much going on. And when I think back to it, but then I was like, you know, he's fucking tripping. You know, like, my kids just got into an accident. Yes, I'm not stable right now. I'm upset. But really, you were fucking high. And you couldn't get your fucking stuff together. And you trying to take care of your kids and still be high. It's not working. So he called CPS then. You know what I'm saying? The police let me go. He didn't give me a DUI. You know, shit, I wasn't even drunk for real. You know what I'm saying? So he called CPS then. I fucking snuck a glove off the wall and put my son's pee in there. And since a man came out, I knew that he wasn't going to come in the bathroom with me. So I dumped it in the cup and I passed. This was on a Saturday, but let me tell you, I got work. On Monday, the CPS lady was still at my door. And she came in and she said, how are you passing for marijuana when you've always smoked marijuana? You know, I had a CPS case before, so she's like, how are you passing for marijuana when last time you failed for marijuana? Because I gave them my kids PEP. And of course he didn't, you know, pass for marijuana. So it's like, they caught me, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, you know, I want you to take another test. And I was doing Xanax and fentanyl, and I knew I was going to fail. I knew they was going to take my kids. And I did not want that. So I told her ass to get out. And, you know, like, I tried not to deal with her until she took me to court. And I couldn't even get clean. You know, it don't take me 3 days for fentanyl and Xanax to get out your system. 3 days. 72 hours, it's out your system. I couldn't even stay clean for 3 days to keep them, you know? And I wanted to. So it's like, I think the longest I had went sober during my addiction was like 17 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me still walk down that road. So people hear about addiction, but they don't always grasp how it rewires you. What's something that you did under the influence or in survival mode that your sober self would have never imagined doing?
So I feel like the worst, I've done a lot of shit.
Right.
And I feel like the worst thing I've done was, I don't want to call it that, but at the end of the day, I feel like that's what it was like prostitution. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I was paying for 20 pills a day, so that was already $20. My rent was $1,500. I had my lights, I had water, I had everything, plus the kids. You know what I'm saying? So money, I never worked. You know, I barely worked. So money needed to be a constant thing for me. So, you know, it was someone that I was messing with that was sending me money, like, you know, crazy. And instead of me just, you know, of course I could have done anything. I decided to go to Charlotte and, you know, chill with him, expecting him to pay me after having sex with him, pretty much. And he didn't. Okay. And we got into a terrible argument to the point where he had pulled a gun out on me, to the point where the police had to come. Jesus. And so I got arrested, and my bond was $200. That was nothing. But the fact that I was in another state and my address was in another state, they did not want to let me go. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like me getting on the mugshot for prostitution, you know, that being in the system, even though I wasn't found guilty, you know, that charge was dismissed. But even though I wasn't found guilty, I'm still in the system. You know what I'm saying? It's still there. I feel like that's just the worst thing I've done. So, yeah.
Okay. So let me go back. You said that when you first, you know, started doing drugs, you just wanted to do it with the person that you was with because you felt like you just wanted to be with him all the time. Right. Do you feel like that stems from having daddy issues, wanting to be around a man? What do you feel like that stems from?
I'm not sure. Like, I feel like I felt when I started, you know, want to see him and stuff. I mean, you know how new love is. You know, I've been with Hassan for forever. So when I fell in love with him, you know, it's like, I don't really know. Like, when I fell in love with him, I just kind of wanted to be with him all the time. I was at his house, I'm under him all the time. And just when you see someone, it's kind of like if I'm with somebody who's vegan. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm eating meat all the time. And you see them eating meat, going vegan, and you see the things that
you're going to follow it.
You're going to follow them. Even if you're not completely vegetarian, you still going to eat vegan food. You know what I'm saying? Just not because you want to, but because you're trying to
bring the chemistry.
Yeah. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So once we did do it that one time and bring the chemistry closer, I mean, we had good sex. You know, we ate. Oh, he was taking care of me like a baby, making sure I was okay, because it was my first time ever trying it. In his mind, he knew what he had just done. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. I didn't know exactly what I had done. You know, it took for me my mom had caught me. I had gotten my hair done. I had went to the salon and got a sew-in. It was my birthday, and I started like nodding off in the chair, kind of. And she was like, "What is wrong with you? Like, have you not gotten any sleep?" And I was like, "Oh, I was just up all night." You know what I'm saying? And I knew she knew. She sent my dad to my house, and you know, my dad tried to say I was on heroin. I'm like, it's not heroin, it's Percocets. You know, I didn't know during that time it was fentanyl. I thought I was just taking Percocets. But they wanted me to get clean, so I decided I was gonna try it. I decided to go to a methadone clinic where they kind of like dose you medicine in place of it, so that you don't have to use. And that's when they told me, like, you have no Percocets in your system, like it's a straight fentanyl. And I tried the methadone. I tried it, but it doesn't give you the same effect. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it numbed everything. So, you know, it kills me because my kid's dad it happened all before his eyes. You know, we were living together, and I just up and started cheating. I had no emotions, no feelings for anything. And finally, you know, he was like, "What is wrong with you? Like, something is wrong with you. You know, like, you're so mean, you're so irritable, irritated. What is wrong with you?" And I would never tell him, but he came to my house, and I could not even not use in front of him. Like, I had to tell him, like, all right, I gotta do a Percocet. Like, I can't even fake this shit to you. I mean, I gotta do it. And he was like, I knew you had something going on. Wow. And he flushed it down the toilet, girl, and I about fell on the fucking floor. Yes. Like, I was like, you have lost your fucking mind. Like, he was like, you better for this shit. And I was like, you have lost your fucking mind. Yeah, and he tried to lock me in a room for hours at a time, and I finally, like, broke out, and I went right to Boogie. It was that bad. It was bad.
Jesus.
Like, looking back now, I just can't believe, I even came out of it.
So was there a moment where you looked at yourself and didn't even recognize who you had become?
No. I still the whole time, I felt like I was the shit. Like, when I go back to my Snapchat and look how skinny I was, and my face was like, and I was saying anything and talking slow, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I have publicly embarrassed myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had live videos and all kinds of shit. Like, I still felt like I was the shit instead of being like, bitch, you getting high, you need to sit the fuck down somewhere, you not the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still, because I felt like I was still able to manage, I was still getting my hair done, I was still, I feel like people think of addicts like hardcore crackhead, like, begging and doing all this type of stuff. I feel like I was still doing my thing, so, but really.
You were still maintaining.
You're just a functioning addict.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're still an addict.
Okay, I got you. So, do you feel like you've forgiven that version of you, or are you still grieving the decisions that you made?
No, because I'm still paying for the decisions I made. Like, just my recovery, I'm still, it's been a year now, and I'm still, like, withdrawn. I still don't have my sleep. Just certain stuff. I'm not forgiving. I haven't forgiven myself yet until I complete my plan.
Start.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait till you complete your plan. Start.
I've started, but I still haven't forgiven myself. You know what I'm saying? Start forgiving myself.
That's it. Start. Yeah. That's all you gotta do. Start. Because at the end of the day, everything that you went through is God has covered you this far. Like, look how far you have come. Because I remember seeing. I remember the first time I ever met you. You were probably about 10 years old in your mama's shop over in Burlington, where Burlington used to be in the shopping center. And I was hanging with this girl, and you was doing her nails, and you was a crazy little girl. And I was like, look at this little thing, ain't big as nothing, and carrying on. And then I remember seeing you go from just doing your regular stuff until I was like, something going on with Vejah. I was realizing it. And then I saw the prostitution thing, and I was like, this girl on drugs. Mm-hmm. She's on drugs. And I was like, I see what it do to people. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like on the outside, people like me or anybody else, I feel like we can be very judgmental when it comes down to stuff that we've never been through. Mm-hmm. And this is why, another reason why I feel like I had to change my outlook. I had to shift my perspective and just pray for people. Because, the same way people are quick to talk about you and say you an addict, and that's something that you'll probably never live down. You'll get to argue with somebody 2-3 years from now, and you've been clean for 2-3 years, they're going to still bring it up.
Yeah,
they're still going to bring it up.
And it's just never done crack. And
yeah.
They still call me crack.
Yeah. And it's just one of those, and a lot of people don't know the difference between crack, fentanyl. A lot of people don't.
Right.
I didn't either until I started watching Trap Queens and stuff. Right. So I really didn't know the difference, in it either. But I think that's the hardest thing, and I think a lot of people got to realize, like, instead of it has to come to a point where we see shit and we got to stop talking about people and start praying for them. Because that shit come back on you, whether it be you, your grandkids, your great-grandkids.
Your grandma.
It comes back on you.
And I think that a lot of people think that it can't happen to them, because I used to be the same way. Like, what I'm saying? Like, I didn't take an E-pill before, I didn't take Percocet before, I ain't never been addicted. You know what I'm saying? I didn't drink and all that. Like, they just assume, like, I never do that. Like, I used to be like, oh my gosh, this bitch, look at this bitch, I never do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this bitch, what the fuck is wrong with this bitch? I never do that.
Right.
And then when I did it, I was like, what the fuck? But when I did it, I never assumed that I would be addicted. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think I was going to like it. I was just trying it until I liked it. You know what I'm saying? It can happen to anybody. You see, like, the studies, how it happens to doctors and nurses, and how it happens to just it could be anybody. You know what I'm saying? And now kids are getting on it, and like it's just sad.
Jesus. So let's talk a little bit further. You were pregnant. You mentioned you were pregnant, and you were incarcerated while you were pregnant. How did it feel to carry a life while confined in a place most people associate with shame and loss? Okay, so when I first got arrested and locked up, I didn't even know I was pregnant. I think I found out a month later. I got locked up in September. I found out in October. My period just didn't come, and I asked him to give me text. Then I think I still wasn't in reality. I knew I was pregnant, but I didn't think I was going to be in jail so long. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Every time, I've been locked up 13 times now. Okay. And I feel like every time I have been in jail, I always get out. Whether it's 10 days,
You know, the longest I had been in jail prior to this time was 20 days.
Okay.
So I feel like I've always gotten out. So, you know, I didn't expect for everything to go to shit. But when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, damn, like, I should be able to get out and get an abortion. That was my first thought.
Okay.
So, when November came around and I was 3 months, I was like, yo, I don't know when I'm getting out of here. I even petitioned the courts to get me an abortion.
Okay.
So, when I went to court, they was just like that the jail had to take me. They would not approve for my dad to take me down there. And girl, by the time the jail got approved to take me, I was like 16 weeks pregnant. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I don't think it was me that didn't want to do it. I think it was just the look of it. Like all the inmates around me, everybody knows I'm pregnant. You know, everybody see me get 2 trays. Everybody see me got 2 masks. Then I'm just gonna come back with an abortion. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't want to create a hard time for me in here. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I just stuck it through. I didn't know when I was getting out. I just, you know, just kept going. But I think this was the easiest pregnancy I've had.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. So how long were you incarcerated while you were pregnant?
8 months. So I was like that my whole pregnancy. Wow. When I got out, it was April 1st, and I had her May 27th. So about a month and a half, I still had left. But yeah, 8 months.
Okay. So was there like any guilt, anger, hope, or what did let me say, what did being in jail pregnant teach you? You feel like?
I think that it broke me all together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it broke me all together. I lost everything I've never been without. Okay. No matter, you know, whether I've been on drugs or no matter what, I've never been without. I lost my place in jail. You know, I couldn't ask my kids' father to pay my $1,500 rent. I lost my car because I couldn't pay my car payment. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I had just got reconnected back with my kids. I lost that. Okay. Like, I think that it broke me, not the jail broke me, but just being taken from outside just broke me all together because I still had shit going on. Right. You know, people don't realize that you got your life going on. You go to jail.
Everything's
right. You're not out there. So you gotta expect everybody to pick up your pieces for you and keep that shit going. I gotta make sure somebody get my kids, make sure they going to school, you know, make sure they got somewhere safe to stay. And you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I'm grateful for my mom for picking up the slack, and I'm grateful for her son. You know, them two, they have done, you know, the most for me, especially when it comes to my kids. Yes.
So they really didn't go into the system. Your mama got them.
No, my kids have never been in the system.
So your mama took your kids and your other child's father. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So when I first, the courts first found out that I was not clean, they ordered them to go with Hassan and my mom anyways. Okay. So they had split custody. So they've never ever been in the system. Okay. My mom really didn't play with me when it came to my kids. Mm-hmm. Me being high, she would not allow me to be around my kids. You know what I'm saying? If I was sober and she believed I was sober, she would do it. But when it came to me getting high, she would take my kids away from me so fast, no explanation. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not dealing with CPS again. She don't want them coming in thinking she can't do it or she allowing this and this to go on. She want everything to be in perfect standing. So, which I understand, you know what I'm saying? She don't play with me when it comes to my kids, and that's how it should be.
Yeah, that's how it should be. Yeah. My mama wouldn't play that either. Right. So how do you think it shaped y'all's relationship? Like you and your mom? Okay.
Yeah, me and my mom are not at our best at all. So, you know, we talk here and there, and I'm grateful that she still is there for my kids. You know what I'm saying? Even though she's been absent in my life, she still's been there for my kids. Okay. You know, so, but no, it broke us.
Do you wish that something that could get better or would get better?
No. I feel like anybody I fell out with during my recovery, during my addiction needs to stay there. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But I love my mom. You know what I'm saying? But
take your time.
I love my mom like to death. Like she tried to get me sober before. She had taken me through like a rapid detox where you get clean in 3 days. Okay. So they basically like put you under anesthesia and they put tubes up your nose, girl, and they suck all the fentanyl off your brain cells. Okay. So she took me to Detroit to do that, and you know that was $12,000, and I felt like because she had spent that money and did that for me, that I had no choice but to pretend like to her that I was clean. Okay. And you know I was clean from fentanyl, but I was still doing Xanax. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So as far as fentanyl, I haven't done that in probably 2 years, over 2 years, but I I still was using Xanax. So I was still getting high. You know what I'm saying? So I still wasn't the best for my kids. So I just feel like the last year before I went to jail, when I started using Xanax, me and my mom was just like, I'm done with this with you. Like, give me the kids, go do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. And me being high and I realizing, I'm just like, girl, give me my damn kids. Like, I still love my kids. I want to see them every day. I miss them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, give me my kids, girl. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Give me my kids. And she like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, you know, I get the kids, go on, take your high ass somewhere. Like, leave me the fuck alone. And I'm not realizing, like,
you're not processing what's happening.
Right. I'm like, this bitch is fucking getting on my nerves. Mm-hmm. So we got into a bad argument. I done some shit I shouldn't done. And I did the next step. I was in jail. And I was in jail for a DUI. So it was my third DUI. Okay. So you have to do 6 months automatic for that. But I also caught a charge for a girl that my kid's dad was messing with. She pretty much just told them that I said I was going to shoot her. Okay. And they locked me up for it. So just being out on the DUI for, I was out on bond for the DUI felony. And me picking up a new felony, they were not giving me a bond. Okay. So.
Were you locked up in Lynchburg?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I got locked up in September. It wasn't until February that I went to court. Oh, wow. Okay. So I didn't know how long I was going to be there. Mm-hmm. I didn't really have no info, but the fact that I had to sit there until February. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So. And then even then I still didn't leave. But you know what I mean? Like, I just.
So when you said, okay, so you said with the people that, I can't remember exactly how you said, but you said the people that were not there in your recovery, they need to stay there. So, why do you feel that way?
I feel like that. I fell out with, not a lot of people, but I fell out with some people during my addiction because I was addicted. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I felt like that they were judging me instead of being there for me. Mm-hmm. And like, I've always been there for my friends. I don't give a fuck if it's money. If you need me to fight your nigga, mm-hmm. Like, you know, I've had a friend that, you know, not been addicted, but who have been using drugs. I've never judged her. I told her, you need to get yourself together. Like, I've never judged her. No matter what, you know, they've done, I don't judge my friends. I'll tell them, you know, unfiltered, like, get yourself together, get your shit together. But that's when I needed them to be there for me. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell me, like, what the fuck I'm doing. Because nobody fucking told me. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all saw me going down the hill and nobody was saying anything. Mm-hmm. But my mom. And, you know, who cares? You know? Right. When you get advice from your mom, you listen, but.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that you would have been more inclined to take the criticism that it came from a friend than your mama?
I feel like my mom kind of like sugared it down, like, Vejah, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? Instead of being like, bitch, I know you're not doing fucking fentanyl. Mm-hmm. Like, get your shit together, bitch. Mm-hmm. You fucking up. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. I didn't have that.
Okay. I think, and two, I think sometimes, I can't speak from your shoes, but just from the outside looking in, sometimes, because I have dealt with people that have been on drugs, you know, and so I kind of think people are kind of weary of saying something to people. Because if they're high, you don't know if they're going to fly off the handle and go on live and blast you or talk about you or want to fight you or not even listen to you. And I think sometimes, no difference than you said, like, you never thought that you would be addicted. I think sometimes people look at, like, probably your friend and even your mom is looking and they're just like, what the fuck? Like, what can they say? Or they themselves are so heartbroken. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I think it comes to, as you start to rebuild your life, as you start to rebuild yourself and forgive yourself, you have to start shifting your perspective to see how they may have felt in that point. Right. And to start forgiving them to a certain extent.
And I do, you know, I do, especially my mom, you know, I try to shift my perspective a lot because it's like, imagine if you was somebody's grandparent mm-hmm. and your daughter is mm-hmm. spiraling out of hand, you know what I'm mm-hmm. saying? Spiraling out of control. Like, yeah, I would be like, okay, if it was my sister, you know what I'm saying? She just had a baby. If it was my sister, I'm like, okay, give me him. You know, you're doing too much. Like, you know what I'm saying? I understand that completely. Right. But just as far as my friends, I expected a really different impact. Because I feel like just for example, you know, one of them said, I didn't have, we had bought a bottle of Dolion and we were all going to drink it. They left the bottle there for me. the next day, I told them, I was like, y'all still got this bottle here. They were like, you didn't drink that bottle at all, which is unlike me. Okay. Girl, I used to get drunk. So they like, you ain't touched that bottle at all? You still got the whole bottle? And, one of my ex-girlfriends, she was just like, what else are you doing? Like, you been sleepy? You ain't drinking? Like, what's going on? I feel like instead of just being like, it gave me room to feel like she didn't know, and I feel like I could lie. I don't give my friends that leeway. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like something going on, I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna say, bitch, are you doing this in the third? Or did you do this in the third? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call them out on it, but I can't expect everybody to be me.
I was going to say.
You know what I'm saying? So, I just feel like that whoever couldn't stick with me and judge me, and this is not my family, this is just friends that were around me. Yeah. Who judged me and who couldn't stick with me and who could like even open their mouth. They can open their mouth to someone else and judge me, but can't open their mouth to me and say something. Then I'm not interested in you being in my recovery. You know what I'm saying? You weren't here with me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I want the people who were here with me, who stuck with me through it all, to be here with me through my recovery. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I got you. Okay, so we talked about you leaving your children behind while locked up. What does that kind of absence do to a mother's heart? And do you feel like you'll ever be able to repair the lost time?
No. So, I was gone for 8 months. Even though it was 8 months, it don't seem like a long time to other people.
That's a long time.
It was going to exactly. And I miss school. I miss all 3 of their birthdays. I miss Christmas. I miss Thanksgiving. Like, I'm just absent. I do so much with my kids, and they ask me when I'm coming home. And I feel like I started booking promises. Like, I'm like, oh, I should be home in February. And then I got my son counting down to February. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't come home. So I feel like I did put a toll on them. But when I came home, they were super ecstatic. You know what I'm saying? I could tell they really missed me, and I never wanted them to know what a broken home is, because I feel like everything has always been perfect. But me going to jail, even I would try to video my son. Sometimes I would call him on the bus. If I was stuck, I only could come out myself for 4 hours. So sometimes I would come out in mornings. So I would try to call them at 6 before they get on the bus, because I couldn't talk to them no more the rest of the night if I didn't get a tablet, because I'm stuck in my room. So I tried to call them at 6, and at first I tried to video them instead of calling, just to see their face. And my son was like, "You're in jail. I'm not answering the phone for you on the bus in front of these kids." I don't want to answer for you because you're in jail. I don't want nobody to see you." So I'm like, I'm not thinking about it, because I'm like, shoot, fuck it. But he I gotta think about how he feels about it. His mom in jail. How does he feel? You know what I'm saying? So then I started calling. I'll call. Stuff like that. But even he said that he had a friend tell him that that's why he couldn't call his mom. Oh wow. Because he can't call me when he wants to. So it's just, I feel like it put a toll on them more than it put on me. It broke my heart, but it stresses them out more than you know what I'm saying, not being able to call.
Especially when they used to have, you were the rock, you were the solid piece of it.
And I'm cooking, and I do make sure that clear for school. I make sure they got everything they need. If they need something that they do not want to ask somebody else, it's me. If Carter got something to talk about with his girlfriend, or just needs some advice, or something happened, I'm not gonna judge him. He can come tell me. And I feel like he got a little bit more stricter people around him, and some things you can't talk to everybody about. So Carter grew up with me, so I just feel like it really put a toll on him. Legacy, it was just kind of like, I'm gone. I'll be back soon. She's 3, so I just feel like it put a toll on my oldest son.
Yeah, I understand that. So what was the hardest part about coming home? Because I think people mistake release for freedom, but it's not always like that.
Right. So you come home to nothing. I mean, if I was like that for 10 days, that would be different. I come home to everything, but I came home to nothing. I don't have a place. I don't have a car. I stay with my kids' dad. I don't have a job. I mean, I've been gone 8 months, so you gotta think about I lost everything. You know what I'm saying? What I was able to keep was what my kids' dad packed up at my house. So I had to start over from them again. Yeah.
So what was the true turning point? When you went to jail, were you still addicted to fentanyl?
No.
You were addicted to Xanax still?
I was addicted to Xanax.
So what was that turning point? What said, okay, something got to give at this point?
So I went in, I think at 10 o'clock in the morning. Girl, I was supposed to be going to get on a boat with my friends on a pontoon, supposed to be going to drink and all this stuff. And they come with a warrant for me for threatening to kill somebody. And I'm like, what the hell? And I didn't play guilty and everything, you know, but I got 15 cents next to my purse. I'm like, do I fucking pack this M's up in my wig or what? I'm like, no, I'm gonna get a bond. Fuck it. And I go in there and they like, no bond. And it don't break you down until they say no bond. Mm-hmm. Then you know you're stuck. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm about to do this shit. But I'm high, so I'm like, yo, how the fuck? I just left all my shit out there. What the fuck I'm gonna do? Mm-hmm. But you so high, I went in there and went to sleep. He opened the door and woke me up. I think it was 10:30 at night. And he was like, are you gonna get up and use the phone? And I woke up like, hold the fuck up. I'm in jail.
Wow.
Like, bitch, I got on the phone with this nigga like, if you don't tell this motherfucking bitch to drop these charges, I'm about to go the fuck off on all y'all. Right. Because now I don't even got my pills no more. Yeah. Fuck everything else. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like, I'm about to snap. 10 days go by, 20 days go by. I went for a bond hearing. Bond revoked. My old furlough was revoked from the DUI. I was like, oh, hell no. I didn't want to do my hair. I didn't want to get up. I couldn't drink no water. I was hurt.
Yeah.
I was hurt. And I think the worst thing I went through during that time was a delirium. Okay. So it's like hallucinations. Like, I thought that a lot of shit happened that didn't even happen. Like, I thought I was watching a BMF episode, made up the whole episode. Really? Like, I thought that I had gotten out of jail. I thought all this shit happened just to be snapped back into reality and you still in jail. That's what happens when you're withdrawn. Like, it's that bad. So, once I got upstairs and I realized, like, yeah, I'm going nowhere no time soon, that's when I was like, what happened?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, when you came home, I know you said you came home to nothing. How was it like trying to rebuild your day-to-day, like the stuff that you were used to doing, being a mom, getting your kids ready for school?
I think that was easy. Okay. Because of my child's father, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for him, I would probably be doing who knows what right now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But he, you know, I've always been there for him, and I feel like he always been there for me. You know, whether we're together or not, we family. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're family. So when I came home, even though I was pregnant, you know, with somebody else's child, her son still let me come to his place. Wow. He still let me stay there. You know, my kids were still in school. I still put them on the bus. You know, it also helped him because he was struggling dropping my kids off at my mom's house at 6 a.m. in the morning so they could take them to school and do this and the third. So I kind of helped him a little bit too. I could put them on the bus from the place. I could get them off the bus. You know, I could get, like I said, after she got out of school, you know, he don't get out till 5. So it kind of helped him. You know, they were struggling back and forth. But, you know, he was happy.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Like, they hadn't ate any home-cooked meals or anything. So he was happy. He was happy.
Okay. So, let's talk about recovery in prison. I mean, I said prison, jail. How was that? Like, you're trying to, do they help you? Do they give you, or you literally just in there withdrawing?
Yeah, you stuff. So everybody know when you go to jail and you withdraw. Well, I don't know about other states, but in the state of Virginia, you stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I know other jails, they like give you Suboxone. They're trying to give you Suboxone and methadone and stuff like that. You know, to take place of those drugs. But they don't do that here. You know what I'm saying? If you come in there and you tell them you was withdrawn, they gonna give you stuff so you don't boo-boo on yourself, and they gonna give you a Tylenol, and they gonna put you up in a room, and you gonna stay on withdrawal protocol for 7 days. So you gonna stay downstairs for 7 days, and either run by yourself or you gonna be with other people who withdrawn, and y'all all gonna be in a room, and y'all all gonna be in there withdrawn.
Oh my God.
So I went in there with, I think it was 3 other people. All 3 of us was withdrawn. There was somebody withdrawn from heroin. I was withdrawn from Xanax. There's somebody withdrawn from Subutex, and then somebody was withdrawn from everything. And we all up in there going through.
Oh my God.
We sick, we throwing up.
And they got all of y'all in a room together?
Together. We're all in a room together.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, and, you know,
they don't give a damn. Of course they don't. That is crazy.
No. And you really, like, it's really, you can't really die from withdrawals. Like, they tell you it get bad to where you want to die, but you can't really die from it. I think you can die from alcohol withdrawals, but not those. So, I mean, it get bad, but eventually you do get better.
Okay. So you are in recovery and have been for how long?
It's been a year.
Thank God. God is good. So what does healing look like for you now? What are you doing? What is healing looking like for you?
So right now, I'm in a class to be a peer recovery specialist. So
okay.
It ends on September 19th, which is Friday coming up.
Okay, congratulations.
So I'm gonna be doing 500 hours so I can take my Vejah State board. So peer recovery specialist is just, it's kind of like a counselor who's been through addiction, who knows what other people are going through. You know what I'm saying? They put them in addiction centers and like recovery buildings, places where people stay at and stuff like that. They put them. You could be anywhere. You can do anything. You can host classes and stuff like that. But mainly, it's just a counselor, a peer support person for someone who's been through addiction, and they know what you're going through. Rather than talking to somebody who don't know what you're going through, they know exactly what you're going through. So I'm trying that. Let me see how this goes.
Okay. So let's talk. So you're going through recovery. Mm-hmm. You're trying to help other people. So what is something that you might say that you're still unlearning from being addicted to now recovery?
So you don't get your sleep back for a while. So I've been clean for a year, like I said, and I still haven't got my sleep back all the way. I sleep through the night, but I still wake up and be up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? When I was addicted to fentanyl, I used to have to do fentanyl to go to sleep. So I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I would have to do a pill in order to go back to sleep. So I feel like my body got used to that, wanting to go do something in order to go back to sleep. So at first when I was locked up and stuff like that, I could not sleep at all. I was up for probably 72 hours before I finally took a nap. Right. It changed your chemicals and it's trying to get your endorphins back and it's just doing all this stuff. So I could not sleep probably for 72 hours straight, and I finally took probably a 3 hour nap.
Wow.
Right. So you try to get your sleep back. So finally, I'm getting my sleep back, but not all the way. I feel like that I'm still withdrawn. I still have hot flashes. Nobody people have hot flashes, but I still have hot flashes like I need it. My stomach still hurts. And I think the main thing is triggers, stuff that trigger me to think about it. You know what I'm saying? Girl, even if I fucking sniff too hard,
really,
I'll be like, oh shit. It automatically makes me think about it. You still sober, right?
Okay.
Shit like that, or it could be anything. Me seeing a folded up dollar bill. I used to crush my stuff in dollar bills and do it in a dollar bill. Me seeing a folded up dollar bill, I'd be like, I know they're not getting that. Stuff triggers me, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a big part of recovery is having those triggers and still not going back. The main thing is me not going back because I've been clean, before. I've been clean for 8 months before and I still went back.
Okay.
So my main thing is, that's why I want to help people so that I feel like I have no choice.
Yeah, you ain't got no choice.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to do everything I can so that I don't go back.
And I think that also means not being around people that can tempt you. The temptation.
Exactly.
It's no difference of a married man being around a whole bunch of single men and y'all going to the club and you are around tempting things.
Exactly.
It's one of those things where you just got to be careful who you're around so that you don't have that temptation
to want to do it. Exactly. Now, that's why I say now I feel like I'll say I'll never touch it again, but if somebody tip me, who know what I might do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the part of being in recovery. That's the part of it.
So you have to remember that you're always, even though I don't even, in peer recovery, we don't use the word addict.
Okay.
But I use the word addict because I try to be real with myself. You know what I'm saying? So, an addict is always recovering. When they're clean. Even if 20 years from now, if I never touch anything, I'm still an addict because it's still always tempting. That's even with a drink. Yeah. If you don't drink and you go out to the restaurant, you're like, oh, I want a margarita. You know what I'm saying? It's just temptation, triggers, and stuff like that that gets you thinking about it.
Okay. So, last question. If another woman is listening to this right now from a jail cell, a dark place, or lost in her addiction, what would you want her to hear from your story?
I think that in your addiction, you're probably feeling like there is no more happiness. This is the best you're going to get, and you're probably at your happiest place right now, but I promise I'm way happier now. This is the happiest I've been, I've overcame a lot of things, but to be addiction is a big thing for me. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I never thought I would be addicted, but to beat it and overcome it, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a big thing for me, and I feel like they get addicted and they feel like, oh, I was stuck on heroin, I was crackhead, I can't do nothing else. But there's so many things, you still can do. You still can create a career. You can help other people, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like they probably don't have that willpower to get up. and I really didn't have a lot of willpower to get up. But if you even got the slightest bit of thought in your head that you want to be clean and want to be a better person, then just get up and do it. Like I think I was using for 16 months straight, 20 pills a day. I probably was the highest anybody could ever get, and like I still did it. So I feel like if I can do it, anybody can do it. You know what I'm saying? I do one thing and always love to keep doing that same thing. I feel like if anybody can do it, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And what else? Don't think it can't be you.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Like, don't assume that, you know, I would never do no shit like that. It could be anybody. I think those are the two main things.
Okay. Well, I thank you for coming and sharing your story. I think this needs to be heard. I appreciate you.
Ma'am.
I think people are seeing a different side of Vejah than they used to see.
You think so?
Yes, I do. I was just telling somebody, I was like, I got Vejah coming on the podcast. They was like, oh, she doing good, ain't it? I can see her going off on live at night. I'm like, we will find out. We will find out. We will find out.
I'm trying to be mature.
That's good.
I'm trying to be mature. I'm like 30. I'm trying to act 30.
Yeah.
You know, it's real goals that I need to complete. I want to get a career. I want to buy a house.
Yeah.
I want to fix what I'm already fucked
up.
So, you know,
and it's not too late.
Exactly. The only way I'm going to do that is if I get my shit together.
Yeah, it is. It is. So I thank you so much for coming. I appreciate your transparency and just being unfiltered on here with us. Y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of Perspectives Unfiltered. Y'all know if you know somebody who needs to hear this story that is addicted to something and they need to talk to somebody. If you local and you need to reach out to Vejah, I'm gonna put her Instagram and stuff at the bottom so y'all can reach out to her, y'all can reach out to me. I'm gonna put a hotline at the end of it so that y'all be able to call if you need help with addiction or whatever that looks like. If you need support, however we can support you, you know we will support it genuinely. Okay? Exactly. I thank y'all so much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and y'all have a good day. Peace.